The flashing red and blue lights highlight the tears on the girlfriend's cheeks as she sobs to a cop that her sweetheart was a good man. A nosy neighbor lingers on the sidewalk nearby under the guise of walking her dog. The handsome yet cynical detective trades quips with the medical examiner as she crouches over the Vic and bags evidence. Shortly afterwards, the clever detective quickly solves the case, and the world returns to normal. Well, that's what many TV crime shows would have you believe what happens. Rarely, if ever, do they show the horrific moment after the authorities have departed and the shattered family is left standing in a living room covered in blood and other gruesome reminders of their loved one's violent death. Today, we're celebrating some unsung heroes of society, crime scene cleaners. These strong-stomached men and women both physically and figuratively clean up society. Their job is labor-intensive, gross, hazardous, and sometimes emotionally fraught. Crime scene cleanup has become a catch-all phrase for biohazard remediation, or CTS decon, crime and trauma scene decontamination. Actually, many of the scenarios dealt with aren't caused by crime. Crime scene cleaning companies generally tackle homicides and violent crimes as well as suicides and decomposition after unattended deaths. Often they handle cleanups for meth labs, hoarding, animal infestation, and industrial accidents such as chemical spills. More recently, some crime scene cleaning companies have added COVID compliance consultation and disease disinfection into their roster for services. Quite a few of them offer full-service rehabilitation, meaning that on top of cleaning, they perform pest extermination and do reconstruction such as painting or replacing flooring. Often, crime scene techs are on call 24/7. Part of the service is moving quickly and discreetly as possible. Not only can the hazardous site pose a danger, but rapid turnaround can be helpful to the client's peace of mind. While each crime scene is unique, the cleaning process is not. There's generally about 10 steps. 1. Estimate. A tech assesses the site and provides the client with an estimate. Cost factors include how extensive cleanup is and how much waste the crime scene company will have to dispose of. 2. Suit up. Before getting started, the cleaner's first task is to don single-use PPE, including biohazard suits, respiratory masks, and shoe coverings for their safety. The body fluids found at a cleanup scene can carry blood-borne pathogens, including MRSA, HIV, hepatitis B and C. Number 3. Documentation. Before pictures are taken to document the cleaning for the client. Also, the crime scene is broken down into cleaning zones to prevent cross-contamination. Number 4. Removal of biohazards. Items unable to be cleaned are disposed of in biohazard waste containers. Depending on the item, it might need to be broken down to make removal easier, such as a mattress or even drywall. Number 5. Disinfect and removal. Salvageable items are cleaned, disinfected, and removed from the cleanup site. Once cleanup is complete, they'll be put back. Number 6. Cleanup. Floors, ceilings, and walls are checked for organic material and carefully cleaned, disinfected, and deodorized. Number 7. Final check. Techs carefully check over the cleaned site to make sure they've removed every speck of biological matter. 8. Breakdown. Cleaning tools are removed and discarded as hazardous waste is appropriate. The tech strips off their PPE and discards it into the biohazard containers too. 9. Staging. Disinfected items are returned to the site after pictures are taken. Number 10. Disposal. Waste and hazardous materials are transported and disposed of according to local law. Generally, hazardous material is sent to a medical waste incinerator for burning, while other waste is hauled to the dump. Depending on how complex the site is, the cleanup process may take anywhere from a few hours to 2 or 3 days. A site where the deceased was found several days after death might have leaked copious amounts of bodily fluids, requiring 3 full days of cleanup. Every now and again, cleaners come across a suspicious object which could be potential evidence. At that moment, the cleanup work is halted and the appropriate authorities return to the crime scene to collect said item. Let's see this in action. Back to the scenario of our TV show. Per the family's request, the DTC cleaning company generates an estimate. In this case, it's a relatively straightforward job. Contamination is limited to one room. The Vic was shot while sitting in his favorite armchair watching TV. The Vic's family signs off on the contract. 2 cleaners will restore the living room within 8 hours for a few $1,000. The techs suit up, take pictures, and establish 3 containment zones. Then, with box cutters and an electric saw, the cleaners break down the armchair the Vic died in. Bloodied pieces of the chair go into the biohazard containers. The rest of the chair is slated for the dump. They also cut up the blood-soaked rug that was under the chair. Only a little blood soaked through the rug to the wood floor underneath. Just in case, the cleaners pry up one of the wooden floor slats to make sure the blood didn't soak through the floor. Luckily, it didn't. The cleaners also remove a blood-splattered couch as well as pillows, TV remote, and magazines. The glass coffee table, some framed pictures, and other salvageable furniture items are cleaned and disinfected with industrial-strength solutions before being moved outside. Now the cleaners are ready to tackle the room itself. They use an enzyme solvent to rehydrate dried blood splatter on the walls before scrubbing it away and disinfecting. Some brain matter also made it onto the wall. Brain hardens and becomes cement-like when dry. The cleaners use a proprietary solvent to loosen the brain matter. They then scrape it away with putty knives. When they're done cleaning and disinfecting the room, they carefully check it using alternative light sources which can detect body fluids. To deodorize the space, techs employ an ozone machine and hydroxyl generators, which use concentrated UV light to target and destroy pollutants. Finally, the techs discard any dirtied cleaning supplies in the biohazard containers, including the PPE they were wearing. Hazardous waste and trash are disposed of in adherence of local laws. Do you think you could do this job? While OSHA governs some aspects of being a crime scene cleaner, the job doesn't require a degree or certification. Each company trains their own employees. Qualifications companies look for include a strong stomach, attention to detail, good organization skills, and good personal skills. Some companies require a psychology test before training to make sure potential employees are up to the job. Others administer a gross test, which might involve graphic photos or handling animal parts to make sure candidates can do the job. Training includes learning proper use of PPE, safety procedures regarding the handling of bodily fluids, safe and legal transport, and discarding of dangerous waste. Some companies even provide training on how to compassionately deal with clients who are often upset or emotional. At the end of the training, some companies stage crime scenes using pig's blood and other animal parts. The candidate must clean it up to graduate to a job. The crime cleanup industry tends to suffer rapid turnover. One company owner thinks that on average, crime scene techs last about 7 years on the job. Stress, depression, anxiety, and nightmares take their toll. Even the most unfazed employees eventually come across a situation that deeply bothers them. Ever wonder how accurate crime drama TV shows are? Click here to learn how real-life CSI actually solved murders. Serial killers are not a modern phenomenon, and they aren't always lone wolves either. Check out this video about America's first serial killer family.